There is an unfortunate report about the Ooni of Ife. The Ooni of Ife have been accused of scamming a medical doctor living abroad of $180,000. The Ooni of Ife, the spiritual head of the Yoruba people, have been accused of criminality. Now, people are calling the Ooni of Ife a criminal. Imagine the spiritual head of the Yoruba people being called a criminal. It's unfortunate. We would not be surprised because most of these people that ascend leadership positions in Nigeria have criminal records, which they hide from us. The society accepts and let criminals have their way. They have found their way in leadership. They have found their way in our traditional institutions. I'm not saying what this journalist said was true. I'm not saying that this journalist is right because he's playing with defamation. He's playing with the Ooni of Ife. If you know what the Ooni of Ife stands for, you understand what I'm saying. He's not an entity you play with. You don't just bring out information to tarnish the image of the Ooni of Ife. The people of that region is going to come for you. But now we are hearing threats on the life of this investigative journalist. There's one thing I like about this journalist is that every of the investigation that he has made that have followed up, 99% of those investigations have come out to be true. Any message that he drops, if you go to his page on Twitter, Pidom Nigeria, you understand what I'm saying. He has not dropped an information that has not come out to be true. At least it should be like 80% true. So this revelation about the Ooni of Ife, some people are tempted to believe that he is involved in this investment and romance scam. This lady is a medical doctor. Yes, she wants to invest in Nigeria. Investing in Nigeria, build hospitals across Nigeria. She's from the US. She never saw trust. She wanted somebody that she was going to trust. And she deemed it fit to go to the Ooni of Ife. You know, the Ooni of Ife, before he became the Ooni, he is involved in real estate and investments. Yes, he is involved in real estate. He went to meet the Ooni. At the end of the day, they did a video call. The Ooni wanted to know that he's talking to a real person. So they did a video call, and that video call, they agreed, and one thing led to the other. At the end of the day, the woman is calling out the Ooni that there's 180,000 that the Ooni took from her, and he's not responding to her again. That is the allegation. That is from the investigative journalist. One of the reasons why I would believe Pidom Nigeria is for the fact that he said that they did a video call. So that evidence is Yahoo boys or those who do tech. It would be very hard for you to use a video to deceive somebody. If the Ooni is the person on that video and she has the evidence, that means there must be some truth to this. And second, like I said before, that this guy has dropped receipts, and all these receipts have come out to be true. This guy has dropped revelations, and all these revelations have come out to be true. He even promised that he's going to drop more, and people are threatening his life. But one thing I want people to understand is that the stool is sacred, but the person that is on that stool is a human being. They can do mistakes. Yes, human beings are not perfect. So if there is something, an allegation against the Ooni of Ife, because this investigative journalist, at first, he made a report, he did a tweet and said that the Ooni should be careful, clear his name, that there's a report that is bringing out that he's going to indict the Ooni. He gave the Ooni some time. Yes, he did that report, but nothing happened at the end of the day, so he had to release that information because poor people are being scammed by our leaders day by day. Look at the president went to buy a jet of 150 billion naira and sent 20 trucks of rice to each state in Nigeria, scamming Nigerians on the daily. Leaders at different positions. You can see the EFC cases, pile of EFC cases. The EFC chairman said one thing that shocked me. He said that the kind of monies he's seeing in his investigation that people took, he's wondering how is Nigeria surviving. That means some people are there to loot the country dry, loot the country to stupor. So for the fact that he's the spiritual head of the Yoruba people does not mean that he can do no wrong. And there are Obas in history that have been prosecuted. Even in the Southwest, there are some Obas that have been involved in kidnapping, and they are in prison. There's an Ezendibo that threatened. He's in prison. So does he mean he's not a god? That stool is sacred. That stool is sacred to the Yoruba people. So let's not just vent our emotions on this investigative journalist. Let's see the receipts he has, whether it is true. If it is a defamation of character of the Ooni of Ife, they can take this guy to court. That is why I like the Igbo people. The Igbo people, they say they don't have a king. They are not united. They can talk to their elders anyhow. We don't take nonsense from any elder that is involved in any sort of activity. We don't take nonsense, whether it's an Igwe, whoever that person is. And Nnamdi Kanu, that they are saying, hail Nnamdi Kanu, if Nnamdi Kanu does something that is not right in the eyes of the people, within the next second, they will discard him in Igbo land. We are looking for people that are upright, honest, and we know when somebody is upright and honest and transparent and has the people at heart. The Igbo people know. That's why most of their kings, a little thing, they can discard them if they are involved in immorality. We don't shield nonsense. We don't shield whoever that person is. We respect the throne. The throne will be there forever. That human being will be on that throne and die and leave that throne. The throne is there. So we are respecting the throne for not allowing criminals to stay on that throne for long. So when we sense any sort of criminality, that person will be removed and the throne will be there. Another person will take over. So don't take this as an assault on the Yoruba people. If the Ooni is guilty, let him face the law. Somebody else is going to replace the Ooni. The stool is sacred. It's not the Ooni. That's the Adeyeye, Enitan, Babatunde, Ogunwusi. He's not the one that is sacred. It's the stool that give him that respect. I know the Yoruba people are respected people. Yoruba people are people that I respect so much. So it is not an attack on the Yoruba people. For those Yoruba who know that will come out and start saying all sorts, denigrating the image of the Yoruba people. I've said it. If this Yoruba Ronu movement that is being hijacked by some nuisance, APC nuisance, I call them, because they are not Omoluabi. They don't represent the Omoluabi because they support evil. When you support evil as a Yoruba person, you are not an Omoluabi. I see the Yoruba Ronu supporting evil on daily basis, saying they are preserving. What are you preserving? Do you know what it means to preserve a heritage of a people? Do you know what makes up the Yoruba heritage? Can you explain what Omoluabi is? These Yoruba Ronu people now will turn everything to tribalism, bigotry, and everything. They are now calling the guy an Igbo guy. He's an Igbo guy. That's how they disrespected. People that are not upright, you need to disrespect. Whether they are elders that are not upright, will attract disrespect. You see, when you operate in a democracy, if a leader, an elderly man, goes into armed robbery, for the fact that the police officer is his child, does not mean that the elderly man will not be arrested and sent to jail. So don't bring in that less respect. You don't respect criminals. You don't respect people that don't respect themselves. I'm not calling the Ooni of Ife a criminal. I'm just quoting what he said. The evidences are there. You understand? Like the other time we talked about the Oba of Bini. I said something about the Oba of Bini. I said the governor have the powers to remove the Oba of Bini. Some people emotionally came out and attacked me. We don't deal with emotions here. The Oba of Bini has gone to court for the second time. They locked out the supporters of the Oba of Bini outside the court in Edo State. You might see it as an insult on the throne, on the Obaship in Benin City, in Edo State. But for the fact that you have allowed the constitution to fester, you have allowed the constitution, this kind of condition, that ninth constitution, the governor has powers over the Oba, whoever that Oba is. In fact, it is the local government that they will use to remove the Oba. What is happening to the Sultan of Sokoto? See what the governor is doing to the Sultan of Sokoto to tell you the powers that the governor wield. See what is happening in Kano. This is not today. So if they can insult a whole Sultan of Sokoto, the governor is trying to limit the powers of a Sultan of Sokoto. If the governor is removed an emir of Kano, remove as if he is removing Rapa. You are removing an emir of Kano as if you are removing Rapa. If the governor can do such, so don't think that the kind of system you're operating, this is not a traditional system of government. This is not a monarchical system of government. We are not practicing monarchical system of government. If the Ooni of Ife is involved in any scam whatsoever, he himself as the Ooni has disrespected the throne. And it will not be well if he disrespect the heritage of the people. I hope this journalist, the revelation he has made, he can back it up with claims. I hope that the Yoruba Ronu movement will not take it as this guy is an Igbo. They are disrespecting this person. They started with so person. I know Nigerians will not fall for all those things. They are rubbish way of analyzing bigotry and stupidity at the end of the day. So go and follow that story. More revelations is coming on the Ooni of Ife. I wonder, some people have been saying that the Ooni of Ife have been disrespecting himself. He was at Davido's wedding. He's almost everywhere, going for parties, going for functions. He's almost everywhere. A king should be accustomed to the palace. A king should always send emissaries. A king rarely just goes up like that for jollification. That also should be addressed of the Ooni of Ife, because I have a reservation for that. So now this Nigerian doctor that spent 16 years in the US practicing, now she is calling for the refund of her money. So the identity of the Nigerian doctor, she's a female, must be revealed, and let her also come and make a clarification on whether this story is true, because usually the leaders, big men, also want to shut down the voices of the poor or those that they have influence or power over. Yes, that's what they do. You see, now it is becoming clear that most of the leaders that we have, it is becoming clear. Understand English. Most of the leaders we have criminal backgrounds. They have criminal history of criminal activities. Just look at them. I'm not talking about a society that applauds criminality like Nigeria. You should be a criminal to succeed. No, you must be a criminal to succeed. This is what the Nigerian people applaud. So when you are standing up against a supposed leader, a revered leader that the criminal society has brought up, that emerges from a criminal society, when you attack the person and cause that person a criminal, they are angry. Why are you angry? You support criminality. See, Yahoo boys and girls here and there, they are allowed to fester in churches. Yahoo boys, people that are involved in advanced free fraud, involved in scam, are elevated in the society. Mothers, fathers encourage their children to go into Yahoo. This is a society that when you call out a person, don't you expect people to be angry? When David Hundeyin called out MK Abiola, the evidences are there. Fela called him out that he was a criminal. So don't elevate criminality. The Omoluabi is beyond anybody. If anybody falls short of Omoluabi, he should be discarded. Don't desecrate the throne. Don't desecrate the stool. The legacy of the throne and the school, the heritage of Yoruba people, does not belong to anybody. If the Ooni has defaulted, he has defaulted. Let him pay for it. Does not mean that you are calling the Yoruba people rubbish. If the Ooni still remains on the throne and is involved in all sorts, that is when the disrespect comes. You need to discard him and let somebody else come in and learn from the past Ooni. If he's guilty, learn from what happened. Then that's how you restore order in a society. Not that you start defending people and all sorts. You have leaders that will rig, that will kill, that will destroy. This leader will still go to church and start doing thanksgiving. This leader will still go to church and start saying all sorts of testimonies. But the source of their wealth is on the blood of people, is stealing and corruption. So is that the standard of a society, of morality in our society? No. Nobody is abusing the Ooni of Ife. In fact, remove the name Ooni of Ife. Let's use his name. Enitan Babatunde Ogunwusi. Let that be an allegation. If the journalist is wrong, if the evidence is placed on the table does not rhyme with what is in reality, what is fact, then the journalist should go for it. But this guy, Freedom Nigeria, 99 oppressed, he has never missed, as it were, as other journalists. He's not just an ordinary journalist. Somebody that carried on a protest against the EFCC. The EFCC had to do a counter protest. Somebody that, if you go to his page, most of his revelations have been true. He's a trusted source. It's unfortunate that at this point in time, the criminality and corruption we allow in a society is destroying our institutions. In fact, in the eastern part of Nigeria, it has destroyed the institutions. Now it is those that the highest bidder that would lay claim to the throne. If you have money, if you're a ritualist, if you are a scammer, if you are a kidnapper, you can, because you have money, if you're a 419er, because you have money, you can lay claim to the throne. And you expect people, when these corrupt individuals lay claim to the throne, you now expect people to start respecting that person. And when somebody calls out that corrupt individual, you start threatening death. Use your sense. Use your sense. Let me repeat it again. This tool is sacred, still sacred. Human beings will come and go. Human beings will come and leave. The Ooni of Ife, currently Adeye Enitan Babatunde Ogunwusi, is a human being that the stool will outlive. We have had different Ooni of Ife. Different. They have come and they have gone. So he will come and go, and the stool still remains. It is the respect on that stool. It is what people do that brings respect to that stool. The legacy of those that have sat on that stool, that will accord respect to the heritage of the Yoruba people. But when you start shielding people that are alleged criminals, people that are involved in all sorts of criminality, you are even disrespecting the stool itself. It is a disrespect on the stool. Most of our kings these days, they are not worthy of emulation. They are not role models. Kings are the ones that collect bribe against their people. Not to talk of Nigerian leaders. Not to talk of Nigerian leaders. No morality again. Nothing will happen to the investigation. Nothing will happen to him. What you can do is that you do your investigation, let the Ooni of Ife respond, and let's see how it goes. We cannot stand and allow evil trump over good. That is what is happening in Nigeria. That's why somebody won an election, and you know, your conscience tell you that this person played some games in winning the election. At the end of the day, you are still supporting him, and you think you have your something is not wrong with you. You think you will give back to your children, and you expect your children to do the right thing when you are supporting someone else who is doing wrong. The old men, you see old men supporting evil, and they expect their children, they expect that when they give their children instructions, they will do right by them. When they are doing wrong, they are angry, but you as a father, a mother, you are supporting evil. You see, the truth is bigger than anything. What is right is bigger than anything. It's bigger than heritage, culture, whatever. The truth, bigger than everybody. Good, what is good is bigger than everybody. Everybody. If somebody does not stand by good, woe to that person. That person is that person does not exist. If you like, let the Sultan of Sokoto be involved in kidnapping, even though they might refuse to stand up against the Sultan of Sokoto. If you like, let them. But the truth does not respect anybody. Just that the Nigerian government is unwilling to uphold the truth, to stand by justice. If not, most of these people should not be leaders. They should not be even traditional rulers. But now they should all be rotting in jail. I like the Chinese people, the Asian people. If some of the things that have been done in Nigeria is being done there will be mass murder of leaders, our leaders. Just that we harbor criminality and all sorts. That's why you can see somebody come online and start saying you are desecrating this, desecrating that. And Igwe in Lagos said something threatening the state. They had to arrest him like a common criminal and dealt with him. He trespassed, so you need to face the music. So what's the difference between this and that? Let's have a good day.